Wilhelm, your host of Ageless Living, and also we have our other host, which we actually have neglected to say on the show, that Dr. Lee is joining us with a lot of knowledge coming both from the Eastern and Western medicinal sides of the world. So she has degrees both in from China and also here in the United States, where she practices as well. So thank you for bringing all your wealth of knowledge to us today.
My pleasure. I love to talk about this, and just in the last 10 years or so, through practicing medicine, through living, I'm just in a personal growth way too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just realizing a lot of things in life and health and beauty, and I love to share that.
Absolutely. One of the things that we were talking about over the break is, how we deal with stress. And I know we hear that phrase all the time, how we deal with stress. It actually is in our mind. So mentally, how do we handle it? Some people, Michael Jordan, how did he handle that very, very high? It's one thing to play professional basketball, which is extremely stressful. However, it's another thing to be the best basketball player and to try to maintain that. That is to the point where some people would melt down from trying to maintain that. The heavyweight champions and Mike Tyson obviously didn't handle the stress very well.
I think this brings a point that things that are very stressful for some people may not be so stressful for Michael Jordan.
Sure.
Now, playing basketball may be just fun for him. It may be just right amount of stress for him.
Which is kind of the point that we're making, is that how you interpret the stimuli out in the world is important. How you handle that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Everything has more than one side. Everything bad has a good side of it.
I would agree. Absolutely, I would agree.
Say divorce. We were talking about that being a big stressor.
Mm-hmm.
It could be de-stressing.
It really could, and now, just so you know, just because I mentioned infidelity earlier, and just because I'm agreeing at this moment in time that about stresses, I'm going to use my wife as an example here.
Oh, did you get her permission?
I didn't, but so I'll have to, maybe I'm going to have a very stressful moment when she listens to the show. But the other night, she was just having a bad day, and I came home and it was pretty rough. I mean, we had a lot of hugs and tears involved, and she just had a really, really rough day, and it had to do with that she's looking at changing her occupation a little bit, a job change. So obviously that was a stressor coming up for her, and I was there for her in every way I could be. I was, I hoped that I was the supportive husband and, doing everything I could. But still, she went to bed that night still extremely stressed. But here's something that I want to throw out there. I don't want to give solutions too soon. But sometimes spirituality is something that can be a de-stressor. So, whether you meditate, whether you get in tune with your internal, whatever that is, and then tie in with the universe, tie in with God, whatever it is. So my wife and I went to the temple on Friday night. And there was going to the temple, going to that spiritual place was absolutely amazing, and I loved it. And it always is amazing. However, there was when we were done with our meeting in the temple, there was we had to wait for about 20 minutes, and won't go into a lot of detail, but we just had to wait for 20 minutes. So we all are all sitting there quietly, waiting for 20 minutes. Now I prayed, I got very in tune in general, but I didn't have any particular problems I was working on. In the meantime, though, my wife had told me yesterday that she actually prayed about the issues about the job change, about her occupation change, and she felt very, very good. That 20 minutes of meditation, of tuning in, she was able to clear out her mind, clear out her heart, and now she feels extremely excited about that job change.
Some time.
You betcha.
For it, gotta have some alone time, quiet time to yourself.
You bet. So I'm not saying you need to go. In other words,
in order to have the time to pray.
Yeah, it's the formula of getting in tune spiritually and clearing, having a whole clearing and determining in your whole core and your base what
What
you
a
want to do in
change,
life.
huh?
Oh yeah.
Day
So
and
she's
night.
much, she's much easier to be around. She laughs, she jokes. Now I know what she means. When I don't laugh and joke, it's not so fun. All right, go ahead.
So we were talking about time to yourself,
Mhm.
which is the most important one for reducing stress. You can exercise. Exercise actually physically relieves a lot of the symptoms we were talking about that related to stress,
Mhm.
like muscle achiness, fatigue. It will improve your mood.
Mhm.
People feel happier. There's endorphins released from exercise.
Absolutely. They talk about a natural high. It's real. It's-
You exercise enough to know that.
Yeah, that you can
So
get
how many
addicted
miles
to it.
do you have to do in order to reach that?
Well, to be honest, because it's association, it's like we're talking about the acquired taste when you're a child that you associate. So pretty soon after you've gone through exercise for quite a while, I actually get my high on my way to go work out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mental.
It's mental. It's really mental. And so I get that natural high, and I continue to have that high the whole time during the workout. And then afterward, and the next morning, if my muscles are tight, it feels good. Whereas my children and my wife, when their muscles are tight or they're sore the next morning, they're all groaning about it. Me, I interpret that as an amazing thing. It's kind of weird, but I love
Right.
it.
But to me, I get tired at some point. I don't do extraneous exercise. It was just jogging.
Mm.
So once I reach the point I feel a little tired, but I pass that,
Mm.
that's when I feel good.
Kind
I
of the
feel like
second wind.
I feel like I don't have to stop.
Sure.
I'm not tired anymore. If I just maintain that speed, I can do a long time. That felt good.
Absolutely. When that occurs for me, I actually love running the mountains. I want to check and see how we're doing on time on this break. But I love running the mountains because you're out in nature. There's another natural high that happens when you're out in nature. So I love working out at the gym, but I love even more than that going and running in the mountains, going on top of the mountains. Is it time for break? Okay, very good. So we have just a small period of time. But people, I'll just share, this is kind of funny, I never even thought anything about it. I carry a jump rope with me, so I actually...
You do?
I do.
Like carry them to where?
I wad it up in my hand, so
When you're mountain hiking?
yeah, when I'm running the mountains,
Okay.
because I get up to the top of the mountain, and then I jump rope because I want to enjoy the view.
I think jump roping is one of the most wonderful exercises.
I agree.
It's great to do when you're traveling.
Also true. It's an easy entire all over body workout kit that you can take,
Right.
and it fits into anything.
Exactly. You can do it in the hotel room.
You absolutely can. Only try to do it if it's late at night. Don't jump up.
Okay,
I've
not
had
if you have a solid floor.
Yeah, but you can go anywhere, out on the sidewalk, down at the basement, wherever it is where you're not going to be disturbing somebody's sleep, and you can jump rope, and you can take it to a cabin where me, I actually love running up and down the mountains, but if you're not a mountain runner, you can actually just go out on the porch and jump rope.
That's right. That's the exercise part, and then there's the relaxation part.
Right.
Things go to extremes. Once you exercise, you gotta relax, and that's another way of de-stressing. Meditation.
Okay.
Meditation and yoga.
If I could share this, and I want to just talk about that yoga and the meditation, that can happen in any spirituality. So, for example, I went to a different temple, not a temple that I belong to. I went to the Sikh temple. It was just off the freeway, and I thought, I've never been to the Sikh temple before. And I went in there, and I'm telling you, it was a really nice experience. That they to me, it was a cultural experience. They showed me the history, where it came from, their background, so the point is that I felt a very similar thing when I go to my own temple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yoga is could be as fancy as you want to be, or as simple as you want to be.
Yeah, yoga and Sikhs and the Hindu, all very interrelated.
And even if you just do the small degree of one aspect of it, stretching, that itself helps to reduce stress.
Which is, I have a body that doesn't like to stretch very much. I'm not a limper, so it's a little bit painful. But I'm telling you what, I feel so much better when I do.
Right, and in the Chinese medicine theory, the stretching itself opens the meridians, which allows energy flow to be more smooth, better. This is why it helps.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not a very good yoga person. I have to do that on my own, not in a class. Because I'm just not good at it.
Oh no, it would be fine.
You bet.
There are little things you can do, you can try to build into your daily ritual. So you get to do it every day. Like when you're brushing teeth, they say it's really good to stand on one foot.
I should practice
Try to do
that.
a balance. When you're waiting for the microwave to stop, you got a minute or two, best time to stretch.
It's a really good idea. Part of the reason I'm not good at yoga is I'm double jointed, and so my ankles, my knees don't behave like they're supposed to. They're a little bit more mobile than they should.
Yeah, I think we're at time for a break.
When we come back from break, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the solutions. And I know it sounds so basic, but then there are also some things that you can, very inexpensive things that you can do that will literally change your life and the way you handle stress without having to go see a psychologist. Not that we don't recommend it.
And we're also going to give our health tip of the week.
Yes.
About how to relieve sore throat.
Which can be another stressor in your life when you get sick. So don't go away. We'll be right back after the break. This is Kurt Wilhelm, your co-host of Ageless Living here on Voice America.
This is Dr. Tong Lee. We'll see you right back.